cut me too deep. I think I'm dying here, man.
Welcome to the 3B Video Deep Cut Podcast.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
Aw, yeah, it's that time again for another bi-weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and...
Big surprise. Fuck you, mister. Evil Dead Inks.
Boom. And here we are, fucking however many weeks into Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we finally reached...
We're 6
weeks into Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we've reached our favorite. I'm pretty sure there's none. Yep. There's none better.
No, I'll predict and throw it in right now. Everything else is going to be downhill after this episode. This is as good as it's going to ever get, and the rest will just hope to be as good as this one for me.
Yeah, you mean this franchise doesn't maintain this momentum?
I don't know any franchise that does maintain the momentum. Everyone's got dips and curves, but just for me, it's like, yeah, after part 3, I'm like, yeah, that's the highest it's ever going to get. It'll never reach that levels for me ever again. And we still got 6 more movies at this point.
Jesus Christ. All right, Evil, you want to get let the good folks out there in internet land know a brief plot synopsis, and we'll just jump right in because we have a lot of gushing to do.
This is strange because I feel like every one of the Texas Chainsaw movies either just completely rewrites what the story is, or they just give the middle finger and say, I'll just make whatever the fuck up. Is like, as long as it has a chainsaw, Leatherface, and is in Texas, that's all the continuity they need.
Right.
So for this, Leatherface has a new family, and he's going to stalk and kill this college couple that is breaking up on a cross-country road trip.
Strange.
And we got the big debut of, I don't think it's the big screen debut, but like the holy shit when you go back and look at it, like holy shit, Viggo Mortensen is a part of this family. I can't remember the dude's name who plays Alfredo, but definitely the star of this feature film outside
Tom
of
Everett.
Tom Everett, that's it. Outside of Ken Foree, that just steals this show, and I wish was in more Texas Chainsaws, and I still wish would be in the Texas Chainsaw game, but I know as far as right now they don't have the rights to any other movies but part 1. Like, you need to get part 3 on the fucking horn because I need Alfredo in that game.
Yeah, we need alternate family members, and Alfredo, we'd be fighting over who plays as Alfredo for sure.
Absolutely. And this is the biggest of the family of Sawyers. We get their name of Sawyers in this, which includes little girls and an old ma. And we also are led to believe that Leatherface is breeding new family members in this. So unlike part 2 where he has to choose between sex or the saw, in this one they go hand in hand. They're like, we need to keep the family going, so bring in women for Leatherface to plow so he can drop some of them raw dog unloads and make new family members.
Yeah, it does. It's very bizarre. It is a very bizarre plot when you lay it all out like that, Evil.
And they try to go back to the original a hair, because we start with the scroll again, explaining what happened in the first movie, and then kind of leaving a kind of weird open-ended, like we apprehended only one family member, W.E. Sawyer. We think this is Leatherface, but we're not sure. If it's not, then this family is still out there, which I guess it just left Leatherface to repopulate this entire family solo after the first movie. They just gave the finger to part 2, or like, we're not even acknowledging a
Maybe
goddamn
he found some
thing
of his
from that
cousins
movie.
or something. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, just found them. It's like they're like sleeper cells. kill 3 of these family members, 2 other ones activate. I don't know.
I mean, Texas isn't that big, is it? I don't know. Wait.
It's big enough and small enough to go from complete desert kind of roads to swamps, like Louisiana level swamps.
And sidebar to that, when I purchased William Butler's book, he talks a lot about this movie.
How could you not?
for the fact that they tried to pass off all these places as Texas. And when we met him back in 2016, I got to talk to him about this movie, before he wrote the book. And I was telling him how much, like, little kid me did not care that there was, like, sand and mountains and then swamps. Like, if you say it's Texas, I fucking believe it's Texas.
Yeah,
it's just how it is.
This is all shit that we just love to analyze for amusement's sake years later for a podcast. It's not something that's hindering my viewing of this film when it happened in 1990. What, 2 or 3? And I didn't see it until I think later.
96 or 97. Yeah.
I think I saw it when it came out on VHS for rental, because I remember my sister snuck out the house to go see this with a friend, and I remember the poster for it even then. I know we had to have rented it not long after that, so I got a couple of years I was able to view it before you was able to. I beat you to the punch for once.
Yeah, this is one of those movies that, to be honest with you, I didn't even know existed, and I can kind of remember, like, Scream was on Stars. So I was recording Scream on Stars the same day that I had rented, like, Prom Night, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, and for some reason the other movie is escaping me. But
Man.
I remember that. Shush. I remember that day very clearly, so I know it was post Scream release 96. And so for it to be on Stars or Encore had to have been 97, maybe even 98.
Which is weird to me. That feels like such a, like, Spider-Man level leap from, like, by the time I got the Scream, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, like fucking 12.
Right.
Like, I remember that when I was a kid.
I knew of TCM1, because I had seen that and owned that, but I just kind of never dipped my toe into franchise land. And like I said, there was that mom and pop video store we used to frequent, but it was probably, I mean, if I'm lucky, I would say maybe once a month I got to hit that video store. But I know, like, once a week we would go into that town to, grocery shop or whatever. But just somehow, some way, those Texas Chainsaw movies eluded me, and I found 3 before I found 2. But I was like, and 3, like, kind of spoils you. Especially if you're like you and me, and it hits all of those notes. It's like, I don't want to call it a perfect movie, but it's fucking close, at least for our sensibilities.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the perfect Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. And that's the other fun thing about this franchise is you don't have to ever watch any of the other movies.
Nope.
Ever to understand whatever it is you're watching that week. You're watching part 3. That's cool. Start with 3. Watching part 7. That works too. Watching part 2 of the reboot. That's fine too. Literally nothing is required reading before going into another one of these movies.
Nope.
Nothing.
You just know Leatherface and Chainsaw. That's all you need to know. And then the movie does everything else for you.
Yeah. It totally puts up the bars at the bowling lanes to make sure you don't have a gutter ball every movie. The only one I could give the almost exception to is the Netflix one the last one that came out, and even there they're still explaining shit to you. Like, you still don't have to go back and watch the very first Texas Chainsaw to understand what's going on in the 9th installment of this. I'm not even going to say this is not even a franchise. This is just a jumbled chainsaw mess.
Yeah, there's 9 installments that all kind of
9 standalones.
They have their own franchise tree or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Their own bracket.
Yeah, I know everyone has seen the Halloween brackets, how they shoot off in different directions. Texas Chainsaw is just 9 of its 9 standalones all in a row. It's the one franchise that's like a TV show that's like, I don't want to get bogged down by, a whole franchise. I got to watch 2, 3, 4. It's like, no, you can literally stop and start anywhere you want and be fine.
instead of a solid line connecting it to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's just like a dotted line with like a question mark in it. Like maybe it's tied to this, maybe it's not.
Put a question mark before and after each movie. It's
Yeah,
18 question marks, and you're like, yeah, I don't know where any of these connect.
Doesn't fucking matter. All that matters, and I will tell you this, is this is a Jeff Burr movie, right? So
Technically, yes, even though he wanted his name removed from it.
yeah, because they kept giving him fucking trouble, and I think did he get replaced towards the ending of filming?
I believe he got replaced. Like I think he puts it all on Bob Shea, because this is when New Line Cinema got a hold of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Well, it's Bob Shea, so
yeah, that's Bob. I believe they hired him, then they fired him, and then they tried to replace him. They couldn't find anybody, so they tried to call him back. I was like, yeah, no one wants to do this. Will you come on back and do this? And this is also right at the same time. This is, as we said previously, height of cut that. That's too much. Cut that. This was a super X-rated movie, which, again, there's nothing on this that would even like raise an eyebrow on network television today.
I'm telling you, it could all be on Law and Order, like 100%.
Yeah. Maybe the hammer through the hands.
Yeah, or the fingers getting blown off, but even they look a little...
No, they look ridiculous. They look like wax hands. They look like the House of Wax shit getting blown up. No, nothing here is like, that's too much.
Yeah. 1990s sensibility. Like, we're trying
it's a new era.
Yeah, we're trying to be a little bit like 74. Like you said, we're kind of having that, like, we got the scrawl. We got a little bit of the attitude of 74. But this has that, it's like a 90s grit. It's like right before 90s movies went all shiny because of Scream. So like it's got this, you know, heavy metal, badass attitude. And
some
like,
people hate that heavy metal stuff, but I dig it.
It fits. Okay, so like country bumpkin, like banjo stuff fits certain films in this franchise, but like if you were to describe Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, you have to immediately say heavy metal. Like it's heavy metal, it's fucking aggressive, it's a lot of red lighting, a lot of fog. Like this is just like a high octane version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I feel like it's if you gave your grandfather a splatter painted design t-shirt and he was gonna legit wear it, like one of the Nasty Boys or something. That's what this feels like. We're trying to give Grandpa an upgrade.
Yeah, and he gets it, and it's fucking incredible. We get fun characters, so we have Kate Hodge and Billy Butler, and
holy shit, they're dynamic. We'll dissect each of these groups, but just these first two, they are driving Kate Hodge's dad's car cross country for him, while they are both at the same time a couple that is agreeing to separate.
Yeah, because
they're going to different colleges, and they decide to do this over a cross country road trip.
Sounds like hell to me.
That's a cross country road trip can probably end legit marriages, let alone like I can't imagine what the thought process. To only at up to a certain age where you just don't know any better. You're like, yeah, we're probably gonna just work out how we're gonna end this shit over multiple states. Like
that's
just
time to talk.
Why? Why do you need to? This is not like, you know, you're going through each other's shit in a divorce proceeding on who gets the frequent flyer miles and who gets this and that. Like
who gets
you're just
the cat.
Yeah, you're just a couple. Just like. We're done, right? Yeah, all right. You go that way, I'll go this way. Like, why are they going together on this?
Yeah, because at the most, let's say they started dating their freshman year. You know, at the most they've been together 4 years, 5 years. You know, tops if they're
which
19,
of course
20.
At that age you're like, oh, we've been together half our lives.
Yeah. But yeah, like,
stupid college kid bullshit. That's stupid ass college bullshit.
I suppose like 18, 19-year-old me would have probably thought that was like reasonable, but yeah, like, yeah.
And you can tell it's going super well too, because they start off with him just listening to headphones while she's driving, like completely being the asshole in that spot, because that's the passengers. I go by pro wrestling rules. Is the passenger in a car, his job or their job is to entertain and talk to the driver to keep them awake, alert, and shit going on. If you're gonna sleep, do that shit in the back seat and do it in shifts.
Yeah, I suppose that. Yeah, because then you're also the passenger plays the DJ, so
Yeah,
you got to put music on and have some fun in there.
yeah, because this is barely into CD areas. So, and definitely this car only has a tape deck, so you got to just manually switch out tapes, fast forward through songs, flip that fucker over, because this is probably before the one that has the converter, so it flips the shit automatically for you. You got to manually flip that tape over, like, oh, we got to listen to side B now. Oh, yeah, next tape.
Even though it was a fancy car, I'm sure you still had to take that tape out, flip it over.
Oh yeah,
like the rest of the commoners.
Fancy car, but I feel like it's very old school tech. Like an actual tape deck would be the height of like new shit put in this thing, like original parts all the way.
It has like a Raptor tape deck that was bought from like Sears.
Yeah. The AC unit is just a little tray you can put ice on, and there's a little fan in front of it.
Oh shit! Yeah, the dome lights a candle. No, I'm just... like
those are also the
carriage.
Those are also the headlights too. You put 3 of them in. It's got a little cover you put over it so the wind doesn't knock it out.
Yeah, it's a bigger candle. Yeah, bigger wick.
Yeah, 2 small torches.
Oh, dude. And so speaking of like candlelight and the use of darkness, there's some really cool shit in this movie that you and I, over the past, like, I'd say probably 3 years, where like with the advent of it being on Blu-ray and even the DVD, where they use the darkness so well in certain scenes where you don't even see, like, you can see Leatherface, but you don't see Leatherface, like, unless you fucking laser in on him.
Yeah, the scene you bring up is after the car has stalled out and they're trying to switch out a tire. Mm-hmm. Kate Hodge is just scanning the perimeters with this big floodlight, and you can hear Leatherface. That's oddly one of the only weird continuity thing also they brought in is Leatherface has a bum knee, so he has the Steve Austin knee brace, as you say.
Yeah,
and you can hear
squeaks.
Yeah, you can hear it needs to be oiled because it just and Kate Hodge is hearing oil. Shit. Yeah, he just spurts blood on it. We saw that in the trailer for part 2. That's how he oils his chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
But she's just scanning the road, and she can hear it. We don't really hear it from her perspective, but we watch her scan left to right, cut away, cut back, scan left to right, cut away, cut back, scan left to right. And if you're leaning forward in your seat, squinting your eyes just a little bit and look in one corner, you can see there he is right there walking right towards them.
Mm-hmm. And it's effective because I can remember you when you because you're the one that saw it first.
Yeah.
And you sent me a snap and you're like, holy fucking shit, he's there. And I'm like, what? And so then I look and I'm like, you can fucking see him. Like,
yeah, because you're just sitting back casual. You just won't see it. You'll be just how Kate is. You won't see it. But if you know he's there and you're looking that like third time, you're like, oh shit, there he is.
He is getting closer. Yeah, and then of course we get the jump scare when she hits him in the face with the flashlight and he rips the chainsaw. But like now that we've noticed him in the darkness, it makes that jump scare better, because once you see him in the darkness closing the distance, mm-hmm. you have that suspense for that 10 seconds or whatever.
All right.
Before, yeah, and it's so good.
That'll do. Let's go. Don't know still where where Leatherface is so lucky he finds these chainsaws that have instant start buttons on them. Like,
yeah.
Never has he got to pull that shit and like, nope. Like, brrr,
yeah.
brrr, brrr. No, just go.
Yep. Well, movie, but anytime I've ever tried to use a chainsaw, it's a good couple minute process. You gotta push that little like choke button.
Yeah, and this is
give it a good rip.
Guarantee this is a gas-powered chainsaw, not that electric kind of thing. That's too fancy for Leatherface. Not his era. But we skipped over initially this couple stops at a gas station. They stop at a gas station and pick up Tex, aka Viggo Mortensen, which is the movie's twist on the hitchhiker. Like, well, last time, the first movie, you would never want to pick up this guy because just look at him.
Right.
But this time it's Viggo Mortensen looking like a Stetson, cologne ad on the side of the road. Yeah. And Kate Hodges
is all get out.
Kate Hodges laying down the groundwork. She's like, yeah, we could talk about, giving you a ride to such. And I was like, you're all right staying here, right, William Butler?
Yes,
we're broken up
Alfredo.
now. Yeah, we're broken up now, right? So I'm gonna just ride with Tex. He's gonna go with me now, and then I'm gonna be riding Tex.
Yes, she definitely does give him the glad eye real quick, and
he tries to Butler tries to shut that shit down. Like, oh no, we got a lot of ground to cover today. We just can't help you. A tight schedule. And she's like,
is that right?
yeah. He's like, you sure about that? He's like, yeah, we could probably talk about this.
So cool sidebar to that is in real life, which I learned from Billy Butler's book. That's a lot of B's. Him and Viggo, I think they were roommates at a certain point. Like, they were buddies, and
really,
they're super good friends. And I think it was Billy who got Viggo that job. So, if I'm not mistaken, if anyone listening has read that book, it's been over a year since I read that book, but I feel like there's a whole chapter discussing how him and Viggo used to hit all these spots and hand out their headshots and all this crap when they were trying to get started. And it just so happened that Billy had worked with Buechler a ton, and Buechler was tight with
Part 7, Friday the 13th.
Yep, and Buechler was tight with almost all of the people involved with Texas Chainsaw 3. So it was able to kind of get it's all who you know.
Absolutely. And he has an interesting, there's little touches to his character that's interesting, because he's playing a very, like I said, Stetson, Cologne, cowboy looking type. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking close, when he grabs Kate Hodge from behind later in the movie, sounds much dirtier than it is.
I was gonna say,
you can look at his hands, and he has painted fingernails. He's styled his fingernails, and he's wearing. Of course, it could just be what's left in the hamper, but he's wearing a pink apron, a kind of floofy pink apron when they're getting ready to skin William Butler and I guess cook him and eat him. I'm figuring. But there's just those little twists and additions to his character that's only noticeable if you're paying attention to it, much like that Leatherface sequence. That's a interesting little layer to his character.
Yeah, and so speaking of that, the layers to characters in this movie, it's cool because with this, we talked 2 weeks ago with Texas Chainsaw 2, how you just kind of want to, at least for you and I, we just kind of want to take a drill bit to the brain when you're listening to Chop talk. And I love Bill Moseley, right? But enough is enough, okay? But with this movie, every single member in this family, they all have something, just a little odd, a little quirky about him. Like you already said with Viggo, he's got the painted nails. He's super masculine, but is also wearing that feminine apron, and he gets kind of, almost sad when they call him by his real name. God damn it, boy! I'm sorry.
Yeah, he gets legit upset when he's call me Tex.
I wish you'd call me Tex. Yeah.
It's really hurting him. He's like, I'm trying to build something here, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to create a character.
Yeah.
And so Joe Unger, who plays Tinker, is probably my second favorite family member. But he's got a quirky thing about him too. He's got this long hippie earring. But just
he looks exactly and talks exactly like a guy my dad used to hang out with that did concrete work for us.
I'm sure.
Every time I see Tink, I'm like, I see this guy that used to come by and do some housework for us on occasion. I don't think technology was his friend.
No.
But he was a master concrete worker.
Did he have one hand?
No, he still had all of his fingers and toes. But I mean, like the hair, the kind of just exactly like the mannerisms and exactly 100% that draw.
Nice.
Yeah, an accident. I already know that.
What do you think these fucking flares are for, stupid? But yeah, he's got his earring. He's got this kind of like, I want to say like hippie garb. Like he's got kind of like a, I don't know, like a little vest. And he's got that, he's got the metal hand thing, the little, whatever you want to call that thing. But like he's got a different style.
He's welcoming in 1980s technology with one open arm.
Yeah. And then the mom, or the grandma, or whatever you want to call her, she's got the voice box in the throat.
Which I guarantee Tink had to set that up.
Yeah, it looks like the top of a salt shaker, like just jammed into her fucking
with
throat.
yarn tied around it.
Ruckus, my nap is just a goner.
And again, there's fun bits there, like they introduce her with just showing all these, like the worst, like a varicose veins prevention adds wet dream. Like it is spider webs galore on these legs.
Yeah, she's kind of like the, I don't know, would she be like the cook in the first movie? So she's kind of like the boss of the family, you would assume.
Yeah, my interpretation was always she just made the initial family, so now she's just in the retirement phase of like, now everyone's taking care of me.
Gotcha.
She'll still droll out like the plans for stuff. Who's taking care of this? Who's taking care of that? Someone needs to do this. And they're like, we got it, Mama. We got it.
And going back to he would be our Alfredo Award winner, haha. But we're not on our we're not on our.
We are on a
stream.
podcast. We're not on the live stream. 2 degrees of separation on that.
So with Alfredo, I get the impression, just from listening to him talk, which probably is all ad lib, if you want to, because he's just going off on tangents in the swamp. But I get the impression that he's not a member of the family. I get the impression that he's like a hired gun.
I totally think I'm going to throw it in It's Always Sunny reference. I feel like he is the Charlie of the family. He's technically part of the group, but he's the wild card. They're like he's just too much to have in the house. Give him the gas station. Give him the outpost job, just so we only have to see him super rarely. Because, he is housing the big-ass fucking truck that I'm assuming, we never see who's driving it, but we're assuming Leatherface or Tink is driving this giant truck that fits in this garage.
Skin.
Which I don't know how the fuck he got in this truck, because it seems like there's no give on either side of this garage door for a 300-pound former pro wrestler.
You gotta climb in the back window. That one little window.
Like, it takes a lot of work to get into this fucking truck from the garage. But he is housing, that escape vehicle there. So I think he is like a cousin, like an outskirts member of the family. But Alfredo running Last Chance Gas. The greatest character ever created outside of Leatherface in the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Bar none.
And if you would put anybody else in that role, I just don't, it wouldn't resonate. But
and he doesn't, and it's not like they do something crazy with your hair, or do some like you have like you're missing a limb, or you have just some kind of scar or something on your face. All this dude has is one blurred out contact.
Milky contact.
One fucked up contact for his eye, and just how he speaks, and that is all he needs.
Oh man, you give this dude an inch and he's taking a mile.
But he's taking this is the best mile to take.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he steals the show so fucking hard. Like, I can remember being a kid and watching this movie and being like, this guy rules. And
yes.
And that's one of the things you and I, when we first became friends, bonded over. We're like, that guy is the best, right? And you're like, yeah. And we're like, all right, we're best friends now. Like, if you like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 and you dig Alfredo, I'm buying bunk beds, man. But he has this amazing scene later in the film where he's, I guess, like, here's the thing about it that I don't understand, because this family, like we've kind of established in, I guess we were talking off air, this family seems like they are killing people, like, because they eat them, right? They're like, I'm gonna have enough sow belly for the winter or whatever. Like,
it's kind of mixed, because we think we're led to believe that they're eating them, but we also open this movie with the body pit, which is kind of strange, because they again, we're trying to make continuity a thing. Like, we're initially led to believe, like in the first movie, that they're like they'll kill you, but they'll use everything. They don't.
Yeah, they don't throw nothing away. Yeah.
And this body pit's filled with 40 or 50 bodies, which we also have our cameo from Stretch from the previous movie, doing a news reporter role and a hot shot moment there covering this story. And that doesn't really ever go anywhere. We don't know why there's this body pit with 40 or 50 bodies in it, or why they're thrown in there and all that. And that also lends to Billy Butler talking like he knows shit about how bodies break down and like turns your skin into poison Crisco and all this, like information that I think should be going somewhere, but it goes nowhere.
So what I always kind of gathered from that is, since like Texas is so big that they kind of bounce around, and once they if someone escapes, or if they feel like they've overstayed their welcome,
the ruse is about to be uncovered,
they will dispose of bodies, and then they'll move on, which is kind of why they're not digging a hole and throwing bodies in it now. They're throwing them in this swamp because they're set up there temporarily. But that's what I was saying, is if they are eating these bodies and they don't throw anything away, why is there so much to throw away? But I think also it's a mix, right, of we eat, but we're also sadistic.
Yeah, because I mean, they don't just straight up, they're not like hunters. They don't just kill people when they meet them. They play with them a bit, like how they interact with Ken Foree when he shows up. Maybe that's Alfredo's thing, because he's the only one disposing of those body parts in the swamp too. Like, maybe he's just killing his own people, and he just either doesn't eat that much, or he's a little guy, or he just doesn't eat at all. He just likes the killing and just throws the parts away. Like, maybe that body pit is entirely Alfredo's work.
Well, that head that he throws away is the girl that had the cigarette. I used to like you. I don't like you no more. So
it makes that with a severed head.
Yeah. And he is responsible for all the best lines in this movie. But
yes, every line. Every line
is like shirt worthy. Yeah. Yes.
I dare anyone to find any actor in any movie elsewhere that every line is top notch shit. Everything could fit on a shirt, even stuff you don't want to put on a shirt, you would put on a shirt. Like when he goes super racial with Ken Foree, when he's like, how many what, OJ?
That's hilarious, by the way. That is fucking comedy gold, and it's Texas, right? So it's they're backwoods, crazy fucking Texas people, and this movie isn't afraid to push a lot of those buttons. And also, like I said, it's like the gritty, nasty 90s before 90s got super soft. So
and just to keep on Alfredo, because why the hell not? We'll talk about this fucking gentleman all day, but he has fun little other like mini outbursts as well. Like,
yes, when
he's first kind of busted up by Tex, and he's trying to do the hitchhiker thing of selling them a picture of them back to him. He has that like a throwaway little scene where he's talking to himself back in the gas station, where he just smacks his hand on the glove. Like, it's a little bit of like, you can see the rage that's actually in there.
Don't you ever do that to me again, bitch.
Because of course he's got peepholes, so we can watch ladies, like, I don't know how many women ever come through Last Chance Gas and have to take a piss.
Yeah.
And are actually like, yeah, I'll just use this bathroom, where he has cut up magazine photos of women everywhere.
Yeah, and it's just wicked filthy. But like, yeah, he's probably can count on one hand the amount of women that he's been able to look at. the people.
And it's a great intro to him because we first see him. He's just sitting in a chair outside of the gas station, just cutting up a magazine with a pair of scissors. Yeah, like a Hustler magazine. Just cut it up like, nah, you do my collection, yeah. And then he's just when he's talking with Kate, like, you like me, don't you? Like, you feel like, I think I heard in one of their podcasts when they talked about it, like he doesn't, but it feels like he's like humping the gas pump as he's putting it into her tank.
It feels very rapey, for sure. And yeah, that's like you said, it's a perfect intro to him because right off the bat, we're like, oh, like this guy is as unhinged gets. And then they also hit us with that old okey doke where we think he's killed Tex and that we're done with Tex. So
yeah,
that's also cool.
What do you think is happening in that scene? Because they play it off as Tex saves Kate Hodge from getting peeped on by Alfredo, tells them they need to get in their car because Alfredo's coming out with a shotgun. And he's like, go, I'll take care of him. And Alfredo, I'll take you down right here, cowboy.
So good.
And we get shots of Billy Butler looking through the back window. We see him take a shot. Like, they're a good 60 feet away and getting further away, but they see him turn the gun. They fire at the back window, blow the back window out. Mm-hmm. Then Alfredo turns the gun to Tex, fires a shot, and we see Tex go down. So we're assuming that he killed Tex, but... like, so
shoots right next to him, like shoots off to the side.
Do you think he shot next to him, or you think they're like... I think they're crazy enough to be like, I'm going to load the first shot real. Like they did a Tom Savini fucking thing. Like, this first shell is real to establish the danger here involved. The second one, that's a blank. So,
I don't think they're smart enough to do that, to be honest with you. You putting a lot of faith in Alfredo's planning. But so here's the issue with that, right, is how do you know that your ruse is going to make them take Tex's route? I guess if it doesn't, they get to live.
Yeah, they just, well, I'll try again next time.
Right, yeah, it's like, that's your bait and switch, am I going to get them hook, line, and sinker, and am I going to be able to feed the family with these people, or were they smart enough to just go the way they wanted to go?
Which is an interesting thing when you look at this aspect of, so they are convinced to take Cowboy's route, because he suggests going this way instead of the other way they were planning on going, because... quote, it's not a good idea to be going down these roads at night in Texas when you don't know where you're going. So they take the route that he had suggested to them, which ends them up on a road where they almost are in a head-on collision with Ken Foree, who is a militant man, who I would assume, because he's part of a militia, this is the best militia on Earth, by the way, the most U.S. threatening militia you've ever heard of with this gentleman. So I would assume then he's driving on this road to his locations weekly, monthly, maybe even every other day. And they've never had any interactions with this guy before. The family's never had any interactions. If they're particularly got their sights set on this road.
Right.
And how many other militia guys are in his group that are also taking that road? Yeah, and if I would assume if more have been abducted, he would probably be a bit more wary about driving on that road, or would have a loaded gun on standby next to him, as opposed to he has to load one out of his destroyed vehicle once it's been in the wreck.
And he keeps all his bullets in a Folgers can.
I mean, I believe that. That's super believable. But what's
it's
as
like
odd
a bunch
as,
of different calibers, just mixed up, like your penny jar.
Yeah, different brands of coffee has different caliber bullets.
Oh shit!
Always save is like the 9mm rounds.
Yeah, the 22s.
But yes, we get our, for me, my second best character in the entire movie, Ken Foree, which
hands down,
which was loved so much apparently that they tried to just kill him in the movie, and then test audiences are like, we like Ken Foree, can he live?
So sidebar to that is an ongoing thing in my house now with me and my son, because my son loves this movie. He is, he's only seen it maybe twice, but absolutely loves this movie. And he, just like us, are like, he's not afraid to call bullshit. Like, that dude got his fucking face chainsawed and he's back. So like the whole,
it just grazed me.
So now our thing is, anytime there's a character in a movie who is clearly dead, who shows back up at the end, Tyson will go, "Hey, it's me, Benny." And so that's our thing, is it's me, Benny, is the code word for this guy should fucking be dead. We know this guy's dead. Why is he here? The reason he's here is because he tested well with audiences and they shot an alternate scene to bring him back. Like, hey, it's me, Benny.
Which I guess is another thing in Jumper is like, bullshit, that's not what I fucking had planned.
Yeah. Yeah,
maybe that's why, because I have the one of the original prints of the movie poster that came out where they misspelled Ken Foree's name on the poster, so it says Ken Force. Ken forced his way into completing this movie.
No shit.
So yeah, I'm gonna instead of it being instead of it's me, Benny, it should be he got Ken forced.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Because I mean, he's dead as shit. We can agree. This is where we get Kane Hodder as the stunt double, Leatherface, beating the shit out of Ken Force, and
in a swamp pond.
Chainsaws his fucking head in half, and he gets to come back. I mean,
it's all super dark. Like, it's not a well lit fight at all, and it's even more unbelievable that they're in like a fisticuffs brawl in this waist deep swamp water while the chainsaw is blade up, just running.
Yeah.
Which, unless you're pulling the trigger, that's not going to run. So I don't know why this chainsaw is just constantly running at full speed.
Maybe like one of the severed arms floated into the trigger, and it's just holding.
The death grip. It's got the death grip on the chainsaw. And he also has a Dremel, like, as a side weapon.
Yeah,
like all these little bitty, battery powered Dremel,
gangster gadgets.
Yeah, little things to cut people up in smaller bits with.
And I will say this, I'm pretty sure I've told you this, and I might have talked about this on the podcast before, that when I was in high school, after I saw this and had dubbed it and had my tape of it, I had heard through the grapevine, how you'll have one buddy or whatever is like, dude, there's an X-rated cut, there's a this cut, there's a that cut. So I bought a tape of this off of eBay that was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre III X-rated work print cut. And it was like a 10th generation. It was like dub. And it had like the time code at the bottom, and it looked like absolute shit. But there is an effect shot of like a dummy head of Benny getting fucking, it's like right here by the eye, like, and this half of the fucking head comes apart. Like, it's Ken, it's Ken Foree's face like this, like, sight gag for the people listening, but like,
just imagine taking a really painful shit and that's the face he made.
So I know that, they fully intended on killing that dude. And just bringing him back.
It's been no bones about it. They're like, yeah, he was dead, and then test audiences liked him so much, which, how can you not? It's Ken Foree. He's just awesome. And he plays like the coolest guy in this. Well, he always plays the coolest fucking guy, but he just hits perfectly in this. He takes out the whole, just firing a machine gun from the outside inside of the house. We got fingers and ears flying off. Like, it is just fantastic. And he's got an awesome scream while he's doing it. Just, He's like, what the fuck is this shit? Bunch of that too. Like, it's just him asking what the fuck is going on. What are you people doing out here?
You ever hear a pizza? But it says something about this movie, right? Where this is literally titled Leatherface. And he's awesome in this movie, don't get me wrong. But Leatherface is our central villain, and we like him in this movie. But we really, really like Alfredo. And also our leads are Kate Hodge and William Butler. And Ken Foree is like a side secondary character to that.
But at some point, he just takes the fuck over. Like,
at one point,
Kate Hodge and Billy Butler are just sleeping. Ken Foree shows up and he's like, "This is my movie, bitch," and puts them the fuck to sleep. And then we're just following him around for a good chunk of the movie.
And he gets to dispatch the family. And that scene.
He unloads on the whole family. He has a fight out in the yard with Tex, which that's where they cue in. It's kind of like it's jarring, but I dig it. The metal music they start playing during their fight sequence.
Yeah.
And it's kind of... It's awesome. It's kind of goofy when Ken Foree gets that dirt on his nose.
Yeah, looks like he's on a beach.
Yeah, he looks like what's her name from Tremors, which she's got that shit on her nose, doing the seismographs. But he sets him on fire. You're toast, fuck.
I also love. I know we talk about this all the time. When the truck explodes, the way Ken Foree like. That weird like stutter step jog, and then it explodes and he falls. Yep. I don't know what it is about that. I want a gif of that. Like, it's so fucking hilarious to me the way that he falls.
And we missed a little bit there where he takes out Alfredo because he just catches him in the swamps throwing corpse parts away. Insults him. "Fuck you, mister. I don't like the tone of your voice." Just hits him with a butt of his rifle, and he just kind of sinks into the bog, which we think that's the end of Alfredo, but he'll come back later for his... He'll get his heat back later.
Test audiences must have also liked him.
Which, I mean, that's the only other thing that's like, there's the biggest inconsistency for me is if you're really watching Alfredo, his facial hair changes quite a bit from scene to scene.
Yeah, it sure does.
He goes from some... straight up, he's got a beard to he's got some Don Johnson looking 3-day shit going on to just barely just like dirt on your face or facial hair growing in.
But we do get when we dispatch Alfredo, it is a pretty cool. I want to say end to Leatherface, even though it's not his end. But like getting bashed in the face with that rock.
That's like the best writing in the movie, because we start out where they hit an armadillo, they bring the armadillo back, the dead armadillo from the first movie, and Kate Hodge can't bring herself to put it out of its misery with this big ass rock. But fast forward to the end of the movie, she's lost her shit and she's found a way to deal with putting something out of its misery, and she's got another chance to take out a creature with a big ass rock and does it.
Those impacts are phenomenal too.
Yeah, they look good.
Even on like the R-rated cut, I mean, I don't think anything changes from the R-rated to the unrated, but like you would think they would try and dial that back, because it's visceral. Like you can't.
It is, but and what's great is you don't see anything. Like it's dark, and she's hitting a rock over a mask, which you don't see what the impact is doing, but you feel it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you feel like he's just. Like, if he took that shit off, he would look like RoboCop dude.
Wait, did you see Belko Experiment?
Yeah.
He'd have that fucking dent in his head like Michael Rooker. What'd you do?
Yeah, that's what it should look like. But we just get the mask. A little bit of blood maybe shooting out of the mouth. Mildly, like, is that blood or spit? You're not sure.
Yeah,
but you don't see anything, but that impact is real.
Yeah, it's awesome. She was not pulling any punches when she was swinging that stunt rock at the
foam rock.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, she's going for the gusto with that. And
kudos to the lighting and sound design team for that.
This may very well be like one of my main influences when it comes to lighting, the use of shadows, a lot of fog in this movie too. Like, and you never question it. You see it and you're like, man, because it catches the light and it looks awesome. But like as an adult, you go, why is it foggy all the time? You know?
Yeah.
But it's so fucking cool, especially when we get that initial Leatherface attack when they're changing the tire, and he starts the chainsaw and so it's pure black, but the chainsaw smoke fills the air behind him.
And you get the sparks of him hitting the car, which man, that's Billy Butler's like big action sequences, him like flying over the hood of that car. Like, give me the gif of that. Like, he is doing some Dukes of Hazzard kind of shit, flying over this car to avoid chainsaw blade.
Dude, them fucking LA Gears, man. They gave him pops.
I can jump 15% higher with PF flyers.
The fucking socks tucked over the pants too, like.
Oh yes, California.
Yeah, goddamn colored drawers. But and I love him in this movie too, man. And it's cool when
he dies twice in this movie too. I think he's dead as shit when he's caught in the snare.
Oh yeah.
And then Leatherface is just right up on him with a chainsaw, and then all of a sudden he's back at the house. They've caught him and they strung him up by his heels, and he's still like barely clinging to life, hanging upside down.
Mm-hmm. But a cool, small thing. I mean, it's not like he doesn't do it; it's the script, right? But it, when they are caught and they are, when they're gonna start fucking killing Kate Hodge or raping Kate Hodge or whatever they're gonna do because they want
having her for dinner. I don't know what. They nail her to a chair and like, all right, you're just gonna sit here while we do fuck all.
There's like a moment. They have Billy Butler strung up and they think he's dead, and he sees, like, they have like a moment where Kate Hodge and him kind of lock eyes, and he sees like what they're gonna do to her, so he kind of just makes enough noise where they turn their focus to him. It's like he knows he's dead, but like maybe he can put their focus on him for like a minute, and it's kind of noble. I mean, it's, again, like I said, it's not William Butler, it's the script, which is awesome. But
I definitely feel like he's not the one that's willing to end into this relationship because of them being in different places. I think this is 100% Kate Hodge's idea, and then maybe that's probably there. He just cracked the whole reason why he agreed to go on this road trip. Is like, I got like across country to convince her this is a bad idea and we should stay together through the phone relationship. That'll work, right? That'll be fine. We'll be fine. Kate, don't leave me, Kate.
Long distance relationships always work.
Yeah. Foolproof.
Oh, shit. Yeah, and so that's where we have that whole thing where she loses her shit at the end of the movie. And,
she turns into the random girl that is already, like, we catch their tragedy like it happened before the movie started, where this sister duo get caught and are half abducted by Leatherface's crew, and this one crazy woman's just still out there for days on end just trying to survive. And then we see this Kate Hodge go like, oh, she's that lady crazy now.
Yeah, she's eating a fucking rat. Day before yesterday, she had to eat a fucking rat raw.
Yeah, eating some berries that taste like they've already been thrown up once.
Oh, shit.
You look at her like she's crazy, but then you see Kate like combing her hair briefly with like a pick or something.
You sick fucker! I think it's the nail that was in her hand.
Oh yeah, the nail. I'm just, again, like Ken Foree's nose, her nose right here has got just enough blood on the end of it to look goofy. I can't stop staring at it.
Like a cartoon dog nose or something. It's kind of silly. But so going back to like just the tone and everything of this movie, if you haven't seen this movie, or if it's been a while since you've seen this movie, I think like a perfect like gauge for you is the opening credits, like that whole, the girl looking in the window and the mask
making.
Yeah, the mask making, and then there's that, like, the score of that is that like guitar, like if
that's the best score. Like, it's the only score that I think of for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You just have noises in the first movie. This one has a good score to it. I love it.
And when you so if you watch this, and if that first like 5 minutes doesn't grab you, I don't think like this tone is for you. But like that opening of the movie really gives you a good sense of the tone of this movie. Yeah. You're gonna have metal music in the background. You're gonna have some gnarly looking gore, even though it's like you said, not as nasty by today's standards, but you got some good gore. You got a big Leatherface, cool lighting, like
oh yeah, R.A. Mihailoff, big dude.
He's fucking huge.
Super nice guy. Yeah, just he's right there with Gunner. I was like, he's in the top for Leatherface portrayals. He just does a good job at it. He doesn't do the fucking dance either, which is, and thank God.
So, and here's the other cool thing about him as Leatherface is at this point in time, I don't know if he was still a professional wrestler in the early 90s. I'm not well versed in that, but like,
I didn't know he was until we met him, and I saw that was one of his pictures on his table. I was like, holy shit, you were in the wrestling business? And he like owned a gym, and some of the WCW guys would train in his gym. I was so taken by that, I didn't even bother asking him about anything from Leatherface, because I was like, holy shit, you're in the wrestling business? I love wrestling. Talk to me about it.
Nice. But like, so when you see him now, like when we met him in 2016, and like when he was in Hatchet 2, he kind of has like a bigger gut, and he kind of resembles more of like the TCM2 Leatherface, that Bill Johnson guy now. But even though he's still a big guy, but like,
I think he just got more imposing now. Like if he puts on that Leatherface shit now, I wish that was him in the Netflix version movie.
Absolutely.
That would be a fucking freight train running over people.
But in TCM3, he was still in like, I don't want to say bodybuilder shape, but like he is massive. He doesn't look like portly. He looks like he's got a good protein diet. You know what I mean?
I'll do my best estimation. What word I'm looking for? The best representation I can think of is that he looks like Animal from the Legion of Doom, maybe 1 year into retirement.
Yeah, there you go.
Like he's relaxed just a hair, but it is still 90% just thick fucking muscle.
Oh yeah, got them big traps still and everything. Like,
yeah,
he looks like he could put that getup on, hop on a plane, go over to Tokyo and have like Tokyo death matches as Leatherface. Like it's,
yeah, he even to this day, he looks like he could grab either one of us by the neck and just snap our backs over his knee. Yeah, like that.
Somehow pick us both up with one hand. Like he is a big dude.
And it's great because when we met him, he was a, like caddy corner table from Kane Hodder, and apparently they just like giving each other shit all the time. So I remember anytime one of Kane's fucking markers wasn't working, he was just like, all right, give me a pen. He'd throw the old one at our
I can't imagine why they would get along so well. They're both like the epitome of like super fucking tough dudes, but they also have a sense of humor.
Yeah, and I was just tickled pink when they got to work together in Hatchet. I was like, oh, finally I get to see these two face off. But yeah, he's the unsung Leatherface that I think needs more, deserving of much more praise than he gets, which I think is the thing for this movie in general, is it doesn't get, for some reason, is super slept on.
And you and I will never quite understand that. Even people who made this movie don't
like it.
And that's kind of like same thing with me with like, which also is another Jeff Burr movie, Pumpkinhead 2. Like people don't like Pumpkinhead 2, and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with this movie. And it's with Texas Chainsaw 3. It's a perfect storm of everything I love. Everything I love is in this movie.
Particularly with how much love 2 gets. I'm like, I see everyone that's just goo for part 2, and then I get to, I'm like, all right, what do you think of 3? And then fucking crickets. I'm like, really? Yeah,
I'll never understand it, man.
I would not blink twice if you're like, all right, if you got to pick between Chop Top and Alfredo, one of them gets to live on in film history, the other one is blinked out of existence. Like you wouldn't even finish that fucking sentence, and I'd be like, kill Chop Top, get rid of him, dead. Nobody's out trumping Alfredo.
Yeah, not at all. And that's where I think, we are a little bit different, and I'm sure anyone listening to this, I'd wager to bet that 90% of the people that listen to this are going to think we're fucking crazy.
That's fine. I think you're crazy.
Yeah. Everybody loves part 2, and it is what it is, man, but we are just die-hard part 3 fans. And the only
this also has, bar none, and no one argues this. I don't think anybody argues this. Part 3 has the best fucking chainsaw in the franchise.
Yeah, everyone talks about the chainsaw.
Yeah, this is the best chainsaw. It doesn't get enough use for my opinion, but I mean, it is the most gorgeous looking, chromed every damn thing. Saw his family imprinted on the fucking blade of it. Like, this is the chainsaw. It's even super featured in the trailer that Kane Hodder did as like the Excalibur shit. Getting the saw, like, this is, I've seen this tattooed several times. Like, everyone at least knows this saw, so there's our one gleaming hope that this movie has got recognition because it has the best chainsaw. Which
is funny because so many people love that. They quote that, they love this chainsaw, and that's always the saw is family, the saw is family.
Yep.
It's only in this movie where that's ever even fucking brought up. Like,
yeah, I don't see anyone having sex or the saw tattooed on them.
Yeah, they don't have that. Whatever. They don't have look what your brother did to the door. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what fucking, like, there's nothing. The Saw is family encapsulates what Texas Chainsaw Massacre is to me. And it wouldn't, that one sentence wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. So I don't know, man.
And what's weird is it's not even like the tagline. Like, that should just be the tagline in and of itself. That's not even the tagline for the movie. The tagline is something like, some legends are remembered and some are forgotten, and this one's coming back tonight, kind of thing. Like, which kind of fits it in its own way. Like, yeah, this is the legend of this series that is totally forgotten, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, and again, man, it's like, it just hits all those notes. It's the most popcorn as fuck, the most 3B thing that there could ever be. It's delicious from fucking top to bottom. It's funny, it's scary, it's got fucking killer music. Everything about it is so rad, and we will just forever be perplexed at the, like, everybody hates this movie.
And everybody kind of still, like, that you want to survive still survives. We have Kate Hodge survive, we have Ken Foree survive, and then we have, like every other slasher franchise movie, well, he's not quite dead yet, because there he is, dry as a bone, just like Ken Foree after being in the swamp all night. Like,
it's warm out.
I'm coming back. Yeah.
The Texas heat, baby. They're in the desert.
It's like putting wet shit in the microwave that doesn't dry it, that just makes it hot wet.
Oh, shit. True. But we could sing praises for this movie forever. We could do a fucking 6-hour podcast about how great this movie is. But
I think we should do that sometime. We should just take a month for, like, the live streams and just, like, we're going to just break down Leatherface Part 3 for 4 weeks.
Yeah, 2 hours per character.
We're going to give 8 hours of airtime to this movie because it's deserving of it.
No one else will. But since we love it so much, Evil, I suppose we should move on to our next segment, which is
a bunch of people who are dead ass fucking wrong. It's not them 1-star reviews from Amazon.
Hated it.
All these people are dead fucking wrong. So, like, Brendan here on March 26, 2023, 1-star, terrible movie. One of the worst in the franchise, right up there with Next Generation in 3D. You do not put this movie in the category next to Next Generation.
Nope.
Good God, no. Give us 2 weeks, and that'll be a fun trip, I'm sure.
I have to rewatch it. That's what I'm not excited about.
But do you have the thing like I do every time we rewatch it? Like, maybe just this time it'll hit in a goofy, weird place where it's we can find the rewatchability part of it.
Oh yeah.
And we don't.
Yeah, no, my wife loves it, and I'll never understand that. But
that's just a puzzler. Even when you told me that, I was like, all right, I need to rewatch it too, because maybe she just cracked the code. She could just find the thing about it that makes it rewatchable.
I just think she thinks it sucks so bad it's hilarious.
But I mean,
it's like The Room of Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
But I don't know. We'll get there in 2 weeks. Mr. Anderson 2112. August 25th, 2021, he says 1 star, not good. This movie is a big pile of dog. Expletive deleted. Compared to the original, but for fans of the series and must have everyone, is still a must have. What the fuck is he talking about?
I don't know.
Compared to the original, but for fans of the series and must have everyone, it's still a must have. So I guess he's saying it's like if you're how you were initially with Halloween Ends, like it's bullshit. I don't like it. I hate it, but I am compelled to own it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to own it. It's all right.
You don't. No. Unless I find it in the $5 bin, then I'll buy it and stick it on the shelf.
That is also my caveat. Is that it's down, I think, to $13 now, and I'm like, give me like
Almost
$5
there.
more dollars, and I'll add this shit to the collection.
Yep. Find a used Blu-ray.
Yep. Amanda, October 23rd, 2020, 1 star. Faulty packaging. My Blu-ray is covered in grease.
Ow!
Alfredo must have been packaging that shit. Package was sealed, and so was the Blu-ray, but I guess it was sitting in a giant box of Vaseline. Why? I collect movies, so this purchase was a bust. I just pack here that movie here. I'll leave it this skinker to the poison Crisco. It's poison Crisco. I'll just package that shit out anyway. It's all good.
God damn it.
Jose Morales, November 2nd, 2015, 1 star. Disc won't work properly.
Wrong region, homie.
At least his isn't covered in grease. Da Machine. All one word, Da Machine.
Da Machine.
I like that. December 7th, 2012, 1 star. Too fake. I couldn't finish watching it. It's a B-rated movie, typically lit of screaming, fake blood, stupid costumes, nothing like the first one. Sure.
Butthole.
Hollow. On March 12, 2019, 1 star, filmed for political purposes. This movie was specifically made in order to retcon for the public and character of Sally in the original TCM 1974. Sally's original portrayal has become inconvenient to the filth that currently controls the media. So the image of a female being tormented by the antagonist in the original film had to go. The propagandist in this film is represented by its Marxist creators as a ludicrous caricature, a liberal feminist superheroine, which at the very least drains the concept of its psychological horror entirely. This movie is propaganda courtesy of Hollywood, and therefore has no validity, artistic or otherwise. As such, it joins the ranks of similar remake films created solely to condition the masses to the Tavistock Institute's perverted vision for the future of humanity compared to the propaganda functions of Nightmare on Elm Street 5, for instance. What in the fucking holy shit is that?
I never want to hear that person say anything ever again.
I
Jesus.
just 100% feel like the dude from Billy Madison. Like, that made no sense. I reward you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Everyone
and
in
we all
this
are
room.
stupider for having listened to it.
Yeah, that's some... We know a person. I'm not going to say their name. But we know a person who speaks a little bit like that. And seems like that would be one of their reviews. Just going to say that.
Like, even halfway through the reading, I just want to just be like, ugh.
You, sir, are a hyena.
I just wanted to face plant into my own microphone halfway through reading that. Unlike TTI here on June 4th, 2006. 1 star, of course, all in caps. Why, God, why? This is not a religious review. This is not a religious review, is in parentheses, by the way. I'm a huge horror slasher flicks. That's...
I'm a huge horror slasher flicks.
I'm a huge horror slasher flicks, comma. But why the hell would you go so far as to make a third Texas Chainsaw movie when the second was bad enough? All right, I'm on with you so far. This one of the worst horror movies ever to be seen by human eyes. The plot is terribly stupid. The characters Trying to say characters. I'm trying to say it how he's spelling this shit. The characters are completely hateable. The location is dull, and the whole movie altogether was a boring piece of shit. I feel so pathetic to waste 2 hours of my life on this shit. He's doing the shit with dollar signs so he can get it. So it's not saying shit, but saying shit. Writing this review makes me feel a little better. Wick is why I'm doing it. Please don't make the same mistake. Not even if you're the biggest TCM fan, don't do it. Actually, attempting school would be funner. Buy or rent the first TCM and just end it.
Attending school would be funner. This is a child.
No, attempting school, but without the M in attempting. So it's attempting school. Or he's just so pissed he's just not spell checking shit, just power throwing this review. Give me those all day over the previous one to that.
The pretentious fucking dildo, yeah.
Yeah, Rondell Dale Branch, October 15th, 1999.
Woo!
This movie must be destroyed. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Texas Chainsaw. Everyone starts with that shit like, hold on, I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, but... And I always love Leatherface. This movie is a huge disappointment. The first one will always be the best, and the fourth one is almost like it. What? But this shouldn't have been made. I thought the guy at the gas station, too, was the hitchhiker from the first movie. What? I have no idea where the hell the family came from. Nobody knows. They're from Texas. I didn't care at all about the characters. In fact, I'm glad all but 3 died. Listen, people, I may sound harsh, but I am harsh on this movie. Please don't watch this god-awful movie. In my opinion, the series should have consisted of the first, second, and fourth movies. What the fuck? I'm writing my own script for a fifth, and it does make it as a movie. And if it makes it as a movie, I promise that it'll have all the classic from the first movie. Man, dude in 1999 is writing his fan fiction part 5, which, spoiler, is not going to have anything to do with what happens in 4. Barely once. Maybe he did write the next movie. Who knows? He's like, I'm doing the reboot. It's going to take him 5 more years to perfect it, but he's doing the reboot.
TCM 3 was the first gritty Texas Chainsaw, long before the fucking Platinum Dunes tried to do that. Just saying.
And we'll get to there when we fucking get there. Narette on April 23rd, 2023, 1 star. Boof.
Boof.
Yep. C. Hagon with our last 1-star review here on June 15th, 2006. 1 star. Sucks eggs. That's some Terry Funk insulting shit right there. What? Another stupid sequel to a crappy horror mess? I did not know that studios were this desperate for some lousy cash. This franchise needs to be destroyed. Skip and look at another product.
False.
Needs to be destroyed. They're a Jew-hating, bushwhacking militant army. They must be destroyed.
Now I want my Nazi scalps. Oh, shit. So...
I would take a few of those Nazi scalps writing those 1-star reviews. One in particular.
Yeah, I'm going to kill that guy. I want to kill him.
I kind of want to look for his other reviews to see if he does that shit on everything. Give me his review on, Too Fast, Too Furious.
The most pretentious
so
reviewer.
Many big fucking words just to try to sound even smarter. Like, I bet you can't even give me the definition of half of these things.
Fucking turd. Now that we're done with the Amazon 1-star reviews, Evil, what does that mean?
It's time to quit screwing around. We've been playing around for much too long. It's just time to play the game.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game.
It's all about the game and how you play it. Yeah, Militant Lumberjacks, I see them all the time.
Oh, lordy Lou. That's right. It's time to play the game. And if you're new here, welcome. But you're probably scratching your head asking yourself, what is the game? Well, the game is a deep cut in and of itself where you gotta pick a prop from the movie that we are covering, but it can't be a well-known prop. So since we're covering Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, I'm going to say you can't take Leatherface's mask, and you can't take the Chrome's every damn thing saw. Those are too low-hanging fruit, so pick something different, weird, strange, off the beaten track, and let us know in the comments on the podcast. Let us know on Patreon. Let us know in Discord. Let us know on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you find us. Let us know your prop. And,
All right, what you taking?
This is impossible. There's so many good ones, and I think you and I might end up with the exact same prop. So
I know where we're both probably taking our prop from, but go ahead.
Maybe we won't end up with the same prop. I'm taking the dead wolf or fox thing that gets thrown onto the hood of their car that looks...
Oh, the dead dog prop. Famous
Maybe.
from my top dead dog props video.
The emaciated dead fox prop. Dog
We
prop.
hit another animal. No, he threw it at us.
It's so... Like, it's. I'm sure it's a real one, but it's like... It's not juicy. It's like this thing's
It's
been dead
stiff.
for years.
It's the beef jerky of dead dog props. That shit is not moving at all until it breaks off.
Yep. I had to have that because we've had many a conversation about that, and I was like, he might pick that. I don't know.
No, I think specifically for that reason, I didn't pick that. Probably because maybe in the back of the head, I was like, he might go with that. But I was like, I've already talked about it, so I'll go outside the box. I'm going to take Alfredo's cut-up magazine.
Perfect.
And I say if I didn't take that, I would have grabbed his name badge off his overalls.
That is absolutely perfect. You get the scissors, too.
Or give me his contact. Fuck that, give me his contact lens.
Nice.
So I can just put that in the case and be like, this is all he needed to make an iconic character. He didn't need anything else, no excessive prosthetics, hair, wardrobe. Like, you could have put him in anything out there. This is all he needed.
You take his contact lens, I'll take his contact information, and we'll get him a job.
I know he's done like a lot of like suit and tie kind of jobs in movies, and I think he played the politician who gets his car stolen at the beginning of Triple X with the Vin Diesel. I would love to know what the fuck Tom Everett thinks of this movie in his
I think
film
he loves
career.
it. He has to love it.
And man, talk about like I don't know many people we would lose our shit over like a chance to meet for anything, but I think we would probably really consider like there's definitely like an hour's limit. I'm like, are you willing to drive 4 hours? I think I'm kind of willing to go on a 4-hour road trip if Tom Everett were to do a meet and greet somewhere. Like, holy shit, it's our chance to just fall in the Wayne's World position of we're not worthy to meet Tom Everett, the true star of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
You mean he's going to be in Chicago? We're already there. Like,
I'm reserving our hotel room. Tell the wife, tell her we're on the way.
oh yeah, there's not much I wouldn't do to meet Tom Everett, but
that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 in a nutshell. You ready to go down the complete other end of the spectrum in 2 weeks?
no.
Well, we got to, because we have to go to Next Generation next, and that's gonna be that was a movie.
Yeah, it's not going to be a fun rewatch and or fun conversation. I mean, I think we'll make it a fun conversation.
It'll be a fun conversation. It's going to be torture to rewatch.
Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to it, to be honest with you and all 7 of our listeners.
We love all 7 of you, and
yes, we do.
Can't believe we're doing this, but we're doing this.
Yeah, so I suppose on that note, we should probably get going, because after all, there's a lot of movies out there, and somebody's got to watch them. So why not us, right?
I'll be in hell for breakfast.